Hello and welcome to another edition of When Hope Calls Aftershow from JLJ Media. I am James Lott Jr. and of course my better half, Marisa Serafini.
Hello, James. Hello, hopefuls and hearties alike.
Yeah, she's my better half. I'll give it to her. We're talking episode 4 of season 1, Lost and Found. And literally every episode does equate to the title. So we do find that like literally it equates to the title. That happened several times during this episode. So Marisa, as we're trotting right along through these episodes, what do you think about episode 4 overall?
I liked it. We got some more backstory on Joe. So we're
Yes.
getting backstory on like other characters in the town, which is nice. More Grace and Chuck flirting, which is always good. And it started another storyline.
Yes.
Where did the $7 million go? So we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Overall, I like it because it still feels like we're slowly establishing people and their backstories within the place that we are.
I agree with that. Actually, everything she said, I'm dittoing that because that's how I felt about it too. Again, gorgeously filmed. I'll also add that to that. And we saw some Lillian and Gabe's flirting too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I love Eleanor's her remarks like, also, you guys are always leading with the gentlemen. And to both the ladies, I started laughing. I'm like, that's right, girl. They both got menses. Well, they don't got them yet, but they're getting there. They're getting there. Or maybe not. With one of them.
Yeah, don't say menses.
Menses. Right. All right, so we're going to start with, again, in the show, the tone is so funny. The dialogue, there's lots of funny dialogue on this show.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not a comedy or anything, but it's a lot of funny dialogue. I mean, I find myself chuckling throughout the episode.
It's witty, and you know me, I love wit.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. It's witty. There's the writers are giving us great dialogue that's not just all sad or all happy. It's like there's some fun banter and lots of banter in there.
Yeah, there's witty banter in this show because I feel like when Calls the Heart, anytime we get a funny moment, it's like it has to lead up to the funny moment. There's a build up, and then you get your payoff. And like this is just witty dialogue, which I feel we don't get so much in When Calls the Heart.
No, I don't think so either. I'm noticing it so much as I'm listening. Like, this is really funny, actually. And beginning of the episode, it made me laugh. We had Lillian teaching Grace how to ride a horse. And at first I was thinking, well, I said, oh no, she drives the horse with the buggy. She's not really on the wagon. She's not on a horse. And it's very different. I'm a horseback rider, so it's very different. So I thought it was very cute, and how the horse was going back into the barn. So I was just like, bye, and she's all sideways. I literally laughed out loud that whole scene.
That was funny. That was like physical humor. We got some like slapstick physical humor too, which I really enjoyed. The whole slipping. I'm like, oh girl, you're gonna fall.
Yeah.
I loved it. That's a great way to start this episode off because I feel last episode was very more on serious, and it ended serious, with the whole photograph and all that. But this episode started off funny. So again, balance of the emotions in the show.
And the reasoning was an outing with Chuck the next morning. That was the reasoning of her trying to learn how to. And Grace would, as we get to know her now, she would try to learn how to ride a horse in like one day. That sounds like her. Right? That's just.
Yeah, she would, and I feel like she's the kind of person who wants to learn any new skill. But also, she did talk herself up that she already knew how to ride. So. Yeah. Girl, if you're gonna talk, you better ride the horse.
ride the ride. Yes.
I don't know. You know where I was going.
Yes, but I laughed. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And then it switches right over to basically this kind of newer storyline that's based on a previous thing that happened. We're learning more about what happened to Gabe, and Joe shows Gabe at the restaurant. He's in the paper. So we see there's the whole bank robbery thing. So apparently he done got shot, and it really affected him. He got shot, which would affect anybody, of course. But the bank robber got 15 years. But there's a money discrepancy.
Just a little one.
There was
$1 million discrepancy.
Was 5,000. That was he was tried for, but there was 12,000. I think they said it was total.
No, it's million.
Is it $1 million? I missed out. It was something. I know it was a discrepancy, and they both were kind of trying to figure this out. Like,
so they said, so the bank robber said that he was found with only $5 million on his person, but Gabriel reported that there was $12 million missing. but they're like, so where's the other 7 million? That's the question. Where did that 7 million go? Who's telling what? I mean, what I think we're led to believe that Gabe is the good guy. So like, if Gabe is telling the truth or Gabriel's telling the truth, where's the missing 7 million?
I think they bury it for later. And you know, they just right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time this kind of storyline pops up, where like an ex-convict was planning for his future release.
But see, they mentioned something else too. This Mike Sinclair dude, who was the same as a loan manager. So it's kind of like, and now he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they did, yeah.
Yeah, that's convenient timing.
Yeah, so I think there's something. I mean, you can see Gabe's wheels are spinning. There's something going on there. He doesn't let Joe know too much when he's sitting there with them. But when you see later, he's like trying to figure this out. But I was like, there's something odd with that guy. Either he's gone all of a sudden. It seems fishy, or it seems fishy. So he's going to go to that other town and figure out, you know, what's going on. He's going to go talk to the man who shot him. That was the whole thing. And that seems interesting. You actually went in. We're going to talk about how he got there on that a little later with Lillian. But him being there in front of the guy, it must be a trip. Be in front of somebody who
tried to kill you?
Yeah, tried to kill you. Yeah. And I had no remorse about it. It was just like, I had to do what you came up on me. He said, I had to do what I had to do what he had to do. He's a criminal.
Any good crime show, every once in a while has that, or the victim is faced with their perpetrator, you know? So I think it's good that Gabriel, he has a very clear mind, or at least we like to think he has a clear mind in this. He has motivation to figure out where the heck did the 7 million go? With Sinclair and the dude who's trying to shoot him in on it, both together. There's a partnership. I mean, yeah.
I think so.
That could be in like my predictions, but I think we're all thinking that. So.
Yeah, I was thinking this, Marissa. I was thinking there's something fishy going on there. And the guy was just like, I'm not giving up anything. I didn't take it. I don't have it. I just try to play it off. But he's a criminal, so why would you believe him, first of all? But he had no remorse. He just literally had no remorse. He's like, I had to do what I had to do. I mean, that's kind of like, wow, okay. Yeah. Here's the bad guy back there. So that's very interesting. But we'll go back to like how he got there and stuff. But Grace is telling the girls a story, and we get another little storyline with one of the kids, which, you know, these shows on Hallmark do a good job with the kids' storylines. And when she first tells this girl, Helen, to put her mother's locket to get off, but I was like, there's something going on there. And then it led to, she's looking for a grandpa. Mm-hmm. So I said, oh, okay, so now there's something going on there. But of course, she was young, I guess, when this happened. She didn't know his name. But I think that's kind of interesting because, like, yeah, when you're a kid, it's just grandfather or grandpa. I mean, you don't know their names.
Right. You know, and I have it in my notes here. The answer is in the locket. And, no, it didn't come to fruition. I was like, so why did you take a moment to actually say and, like, address the locket specifically, take it off, don't lose it? We've never seen her open it. And we still, like, haven't really seen the grandfather. I mean, not to jump ahead, but like, how it ends. But I'm like, come on, why pinpoint a moment of the locket where it's not going to come into play? Like,
I thought the same thing.
I swear, I thought, like, she was going to open it up and there was, like, something hidden in the locket that would give the name or the address to find her family. No, it didn't happen. Boo.
I agree. Because you know what they also did too, Marissa, is when they were closing that scene out before I did the intro, it went down back to the locket on the table and they turned the lamp out. So I was like, they showed the locket another time. And so in that scene, so I'm thinking, ooh, the locket's something important. That's how we're trained to watch these shows. Right. Whatever.
Yeah.
Unless it's coming up later. Unless they find the grandfather or they don't or something, and then the locket means something then, I guess, maybe.
I sure hope so. If we get another episode with Helen actually meeting her grandfather, and then the grandfather gives her something that only the locket could open up, like Princess Diaries, you know? Like, I don't know. Maybe.
I'm there for that.
I was just hoping that locket played a bigger significant part.
I agree. It doesn't do anything. So then we get around town. We got Lily and Maggie, the nurse. They're talking. Ronnie and Tess are talking. Once again, cold as ice. She says, I think good morning or good afternoon to her and keeps on stepping. And again, I started laughing because Maggie's like, okay, I wouldn't want to be on her, her bad side or whatever. And that was a greeting. And she goes, that was a warm greeting. He's like, really? And Lillian started smiling because in a way, before she never said hi to her. That's why the last couple times she just walked by her and gave her a dirty look. This time she did say something to her.
At least she acknowledged her.
Acknowledged her.
So that's something better than giving him a cold shoulder.
Yeah, she did, but she was still salty towards her. But she just kind of like.
But she acknowledges that she's there. She doesn't completely ignore her. So I feel like it's baby steps forming up this relationship.
I agree. And then meanwhile, she's off to order all these cakes and pies and stuff. She's having a get together on her ranch, and she requests Grace.
Yeah. She
So.
doesn't trust Lillian.
Yeah, that was some scenes there. We'll get there in a second, of course. About that, I thought interesting. Like, what is she asking for Grace for? Then we have Chuck and Grace going on their picnic. They ride up and he has a picnic, but it's ransacked by bears. I started laughing.
Was it a picnic?
I was like, it was so funny. I started laughing.
That was cute. But it's actually good because I feel like technically it wasn't really a date then. We're still leading up to a better moment that could be considered the real first date.
I agree. But she has sandwiches in her bag, which I love that Eleanor put in her sack and her saddle. Like, just never go anywhere without them. That sounds like me. I'm the bag person. I always have bags whenever I go somewhere. So I'm always like, there's always stuff in there just in case. You never know what you might need. I'm a total bag person, so it's just so I think it's really funny. She was like, "Oh, I got sandwiches," and she was flirting with them, and so what are you gonna eat? I know it was so cute. It was so cute. They're so cute together.
I like them. No, I really do like them together. And I like how their date was simple, or like I like to think it is the date, but it kind of wasn't as great as it could have gone. But they're cute. I like it's very simple right now. It's not over the top with materialistic goods like another relationship we see in When Calls the Heart. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I like it's very simple. It doesn't seem like pressured or there's high stakes in it.
I agree. But they mentioned his favorite pie, which is my favorite pie in the world, peach pie. That is my favorite. Oh, I love peach pie. Oh, not yours.
No.
What kind of pie do you like, Marisa?
Blueberry, of course.
Good too.
Blueberry, lots of whipped cream.
I like whipped cream too. I had blueberries for breakfast this morning with my yogurt.
Did you? Nice.
I like blueberries.
Nice.
But it's a peach pie, and so she gets the idea of wanting to make it for him, which is very interesting. Okay, girl. Okay, so then Lily and Gabe are talking. She goes to Gabe, see if he can help, and he has a great idea. To look in reverse to see if anybody's looking for help. I thought that's a great idea.
Yeah, reverse engineer it.
Yeah, and look that way. I thought that was really cool. But of course, Lillian's strong, and because she has a history of she found her sister, he offered to go because he was going that direction anyway to help it. She was like, "No, I'm going to do it myself. This is thing I have to do myself." And he was like, "Okay." He didn't pressure or anything, but okay. But he did say, "Let's ride together."
Mm-hmm. Oh, how convenient. You're going this way, so am I.
To Clearwater. That's what it's, to Clearwater. And she was like, I might want to leave early. I can leave at 7. I'll be there at 7 o'clock. Okay.
All right. Yeah, you can.
And then a cute little moment with Lillian and Grace. It always goes back to the sisters, so I like that. Like, you have all these scenes, and then it goes back to the sisters. And you have these scenes, go back to the sisters. It always goes back to them, which I love that about that. When you were Lily... Oh, so good?
Oh, they're the default. You always go back to those two.
Go back to those two.
You always go back to Elizabeth. They show you always go back to these two.
I agree with that. And so Lillian tells Grace, when you were little, you used to follow me around everywhere. And she says, I would still follow you around everywhere. I got a little teary-eyed. I did. Those sisters are pulling on my heartstrings. They're pulling on them, folks. They're pulling on them.
Yeah, you have to appreciate all the work that Lillian put in. Because there was a moment they're like, you never gave up? And she's like, no, because I always knew deep down inside that I would eventually find her. I was like, girl, you have a lot more patience than most people would, because people would give up after maybe a year, but to look for her for how long was it? It took years to find her.
I feel like they said it a few episodes ago. Was it 7 years? Or,
yeah.
I want to say it was 4 years ago. It was a long time.
a very long time to look for someone and to never lose hope that she did that or lose faith. Like, I applaud to Lillian. So we know with her history of finding people and able to find her sister that she can easily find this grandfather for Helen.
I agree with that. I have faith in her.
Yeah.
And then so we have Tess. Then we have Tess and Chuck talking, mother and son. He's checking on a horse or whatever, and she's now trying to get him to be the new foreman. She's kind of down talking his vet stuff. He's like, I'm a vet. And there was also a funny moment too, kind of. It was kind of funny. He's like, what do you have with your vet? Because I have happy cows and horses. I thought it was very cute. But but it's like she's really talking. It was very much like a parent of the business. Like, follow me in my footsteps. It was very relatable to me.
But it was very condescending.
It was.
Don't make your son feel like what he's doing is invaluable. It's like he took care of your horse just 2 seconds ago, and now you're insulting his profession and his trade. Come on, Tess. And I'm like, and I don't like that. She's an emotionally manipulative type of person.
Mm-hmm. She was fucking down.
Like, honestly, obviously, we think that Chuck would be the greatest fit because he knows the trade, or like he knows that ranch farm lifestyle. But like his heart's not in it, his passion's not in it. Hire someone else who can do the exact same job but actually care about it.
I know.
You're not doing it begrudgingly as an obligation for your parent.
I know.
That's not the
parents. That's what parents do sometimes. That's what they do to their kids.
I know, but it's also for Tess. That's not the best way to convince her son to help be a foreman.
I agree. I totally agree. Oops. Sorry, a little home stuff happening over there. So we switched little gears. He's gonna think about it, or whatever. She's like, think about it, whatever. Maggie sees Joe. Now, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm gonna say it now. Am I seeing chemistry? No? Just be a friendly nurse?
I'm not feeling Maggie. I really aren't.
Oh, you aren't? Oh, you aren't? Okay. I like her.
Yeah, not yet, at least.
Okay.
I mean, we know she's a good person. She helps people, but I'm just like...
Okay. Maybe we're just onto something. Who knows? Maybe you're onto something. Whoa. But we don't really know anything about her. So
I sense more chemistry with Maggie and Daniel, and we look how Daniel turned out to be.
I know.
But I think Maggie was just approaching Joe as, as a good, nurse practitioner should, helping a patient heal and treat an injury.
Okay. Well, you guys at home or watching this, tell me what you think. Am I seeing too much, or is this nothing? You tell me. If Marissa's right, tell her she's right. But his shoulder's still hurting. So from last episode, his shoulder's still hurting. And he's stubborn. I wrote stubborn man. Oh, what?
Oh, sorry. That was like me last episode, remember?
Yes.
Behind the scenes, I was like icing my shoulder last episode.
You
guys didn't see that, but yeah.
But I was like, he's a stubborn man. You're not stubborn.
I know that pain.
Yes, you do. Because anytime you try to lift it or anything, it all hurts. It's crazy.
Yeah, it'll do it.
Yes. So Lily and Gabe are on. They're on their ride up to Clearwater. She said it took years to find her. She was in a small fishing village when she found Grace. Walked into a restaurant, so she was a server. Said she dropped her tray and they just knew. So we got more story. We're getting pieces of the story of their finding. So that's interesting.
Fishing village. I'm like, exactly. Well, like, where are they? They're not in Scandinavia. Trying to like with their fishing villages all in those.
Yeah, I know. I remember asking last time, like, where are they? Are they in Colorado? But like fishing, I don't know where they are.
Where is the show located?
Well, folks, that's where the show located, people. If you know where it is.
I know.
I don't get it. I don't get where it is because the rolling. I don't get it. I don't either. Okay, so again, Tessa and Chuck are talking. She's planning this party. She really wants him there. She's insisting he be there. I'm like, something's up. She invited, she invited Grace, and I'm like, maybe she's trying to play matchmaker. I'm thinking, with those two, was I wrong? Yes. Grace decides she's going to make that peach pie. Don't tell Eleanor.
Just for Chuck.
Don't tell Eleanor. And then
Mhm.
Nurse Maggie comes in with one of those stretchy things. I forget the name of those things. I used to be a nurse. What?
The resistance bands.
Yeah, we said thank you. I couldn't think of what the name of it was. Now I'm old now. I had a birthday. I can't think anymore. The resistance band. So she brings it in, and he's just kind of like, "What's this?" I'm not gonna He's not gonna use it. Meanwhile, Grace is in there shopping, and then and he's trying to help her with like the recipe that's his mother's recipe. So we learned that Joe's mother made, I guess, this amazing peach pie. But apparently, Eleanor is not all about that.
Yeah. It's an insult to her recipes.
Insult to her recipe. So,
someone else use someone else's recipes instead of her own.
yes, and don't tell her. We see that Grace and Chuck flirt a little bit as she's leaving the store, and he mentions about doing a pony again. But again, there's humor again. It's like, I'm going to see one of my clients. I started laughing when he said that. She's like, I call them clients. Because I don't want to say I'm going to see a sick pig. That to me made me laugh. I chuckled really loud. I thought it was so funny. Thinking that those were his clients to make it sound nicer. I did like that. Okay, this part was crazy. I don't like Earl, whatever his last name is, the Mountie. She gets there and he is a total.
Oh, I know. I think I put it somewhere in my notes. I was like, that's probably the first Mountie I've ever disliked within this universe.
Yes. He was so unlikable.
Like, who are you?
Oh my goodness.
Dude, get out of here.
Just dismissing her, kept calling her a little lady. All this stuff. He was so dismissive.
Right.
So dismissive.
He kept interrupting her. And he was like, so are you gonna be done yet? We're closing up in like 5 minutes. Are you gonna be done yet? And I'm like, dude, let her do her job.
His pocket watch. He was so rude. Well, I mean, I love that she took care of business though. In the beginning, she was like, Gabe, I got this. And he was like, you got this. And he actually said those words, you got this. And he left and let her take care of business. And it was a lot of boxes. But she finds that the flyer was looking for her sister. She finds it. She puts it a little side to the side. That's cute. But yeah, he was so rude to her.
Yeah, so that was his drawing that we saw in her sketchbook.
Yes, it was.
We like how that came into play.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, him being rude and her trying to look through this whole thing, and we find out through the course of this, though, that he had been shot, also, Earl, and that he was.
Well, I can understand why. I'm terrible.
No. Yes, and so, but he was sent to desk duty, and we learned that Gabe had been offered that too, but chose to go back to active duty, and Earl thought that was a little much. So I wrote down, Earl is salty. That's what I wrote down.
Yeah.
He's salty because he took the desk job where Gabe didn't take it. He went back out there.
Right, and that's not Earl's fault either that Gabe made the decision to go back out. Maybe, and we don't know the extent of injuries. Maybe it was more mentally scarring on Earl that he mentally couldn't handle just the idea of being back out in the field. So we don't know, or maybe that was like his best option at that time. That he's like, well, the only job I can do is the desk job. Maybe he's just bitter that he's not the one out in the field anymore.
I think it is.
But it's bitter.
You're bitter. But she stole some files because you got questioning. You have enough time for me to put these boxes away. I'm like, geez, he's too much. But she did find the file of Helen's.
I like how she did it. Like, I temporarily borrowed files.
Yes, I love that. It was so funny. But she put in her cape. And she kind of walked out. And he didn't see anything. I'm like, okay. And he's like, wait a minute, you're a rule breaker. So sometimes rules are made to be broken. I was like, that's right, girl. You tell him all about it. I thought it was such a cute scene.
Right, and I like how Gabriel didn't like judge her or anything. Be like, yo, you're in trouble. We're gonna turn around and get those files back to wherever they need to be. And like he wasn't. He was also very lenient with the law.
I think he admired her too a little bit, like her gumption, kind of. I think he admired that. And she was like, she found the needle in the haystack, like Earl trying to say.
Yeah. Wouldn't be the first time.
As she said. I love it. Meanwhile, you got cute little Fred, again, the little cutesy stories. And I was with Fred. I could not study if pies being made.
the funniest line. Not enough.
I don't, exactly. He's like, hello.
I was like, yeah, Fred, you're right. Not enough cookies.
I love cookies. It was so funny doing the math. But those,
They have like 3 cookies right next to me.
hey, I got some cookies in the other room. That's some cookies in the other room.
Like,
I have chocolate. Oh, that's good. What kind is that?
it's a caramel kind of cookie.
Ooh.
I love cookies.
Yes, I know. I do know. Yeah, I got cookies around the corner.
They're probably my weakness in life for cookies.
More than chocolate?
Chocolate cookies.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, because I know Marisa, so I'm like going, you love chocolate. So I'm like, wait a minute. But that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense. Just checking, girl. I know you like chocolate. So it makes sense. Sure. He likes chocolate. So anyway, so that was kind of cute. That was a cute scene. There was a cute scene in there. And then Maggie talks to Eleanor. So we're seeing people move around, characters move around and talk to each other. And we saw, like, oh, Maggie and Eleanor are talking. Because Eleanor had a little pain herself, and she said it was from, first she said it was from, and she was like bending over the kids or something, and said she had a little pain or something. But she brings up Joe to her. Mm-hmm. And we learned some backstory. That Joe was like talking about the accidents, like, ooh, an accident. Everybody has a past on the show. Everybody has a past.
Yeah, everyone's getting all injured and crap.
I know. Like, everybody's all hurt.
Like, I walk people.
That's crazy. But a cart he drove turned over. That's what we learned at that point. We learned later we'll have more.
Wagon overturned, hence the shoulder injury.
Yes.
But on the wagon, he lost his wife, Lisette.
I got teary-eyed then too.
Yeah. Wait, do you think Joe's injury is more psychosomatic?
Well, when she said to him, and I thought I wrote down. So I wrote down. I feel like Marisa, right? I wrote this down.
Yeah.
She said, and I thought your pain was in your shoulder, but the pain is in your head. I got teary-eyed. Who said that?
Yeah. Again, I think it's more psychosomatic.
He thinks because he feels guilty.
Yes. And that happens.
Yeah. And when she said to him, what would she want you to do? The roles reversed. What would you want? You know what? And it's like, would she want you to be in pain? I was totally like, just like, God, I was just crying. I was crying. I cried. I don't know if you guys cried out there, but I cried. I was like, that was just such an unexpectedly touching moment. And I like Joe. I like the character of Joe.
Yeah, I love Joe. Joe's probably like my favorite character right now out of everyone in the town. People, he's the most likable, most personable. And that's also why I back up. Like, I don't see Joe and Maggie together just yet because he's still holding a candle for his past wife.
Yeah. And it was kind of interesting. He kept putting back the resistance band, taking it back out, putting it back, and then he finally took it out. And it was like
and also the pocket watch.
Yes, with the engraving on it. I didn't write down the engraving. I meant to. I didn't write. Okay, so Marisa, do it. Tell her.
To my loving husband Joseph, now and forever.
I thought so. My goodness, I loved it. I just love his storyline.
Yeah.
So so we learned more about him. So I think maybe you're right. I mean, I feel like I see something now, but maybe not on his end, maybe on her. I don't know.
I think Maggie was just being a good nurse.
Yeah, that's true. Could be.
Helping with the pain injury.
But then here's basically the last part of the story that made me sad, of course, because we feel for Grace. The party's happening at the Stewart clan. It's happening. We meet. Okay, maybe give what's the name down. Like Tom Clay, apparently a neighbor who has his own ranch. And he has a daughter.
Of course.
Lucy.
Yeah. Lucy and Chuck. And Lucy, oh girl, she was thirsty.
She was
like, yo, calm yourself.
She was in it to win it. She was just like, yeah, I'm here. Why aren't you here on your ranch? I run my ranch. Why aren't you running your ranch? And he's like, you're sort of like Tess, which I'm like, that's the problem. Yeah. He don't want his mother. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want somebody like his mother.
He doesn't want to date someone who's like his mother. I'm like, no.
But I felt so bad for it. Oh my God! So this is a little production note. I had to chuckle because when Tess gave um, Claire, Claire gave Grace
Right.
the apron, that thing was the tie was so long. It was like a long. I was like, how? I mean, I'm like, and because she didn't wrap it around, she was in the back. So I was like, that's a long tie.
Well, also, I think like this was a moment where I don't know if you saw it, but Tess was like, "You're not here to mingle with people. You're here to work. This is a visual aid telling people that you do not, you don't talk to these people. You're here to work. Your
Oh, I
separation."
saw that. Oh, girl, I saw it.
I'm
I
like,
saw it.
okay. Like she was just working a couple hours without the apron. Why now put on an apron now that Chuck is there?
Because Chuck and Lucy are there. That's why she
Mhm.
did it. So I'm like, well, then Tess, you're not for it. You're not for Grace and Chuck after all.
Yeah. But now if you think about it, not Grace, Tess hasn't really seen Chuck and Grace together flirting. Every
That's
time
true.
Chuck and Grace flirt together, they're always by themselves.
That's true. You're right. That's true.
Or at, Ronnie's restaurant or hotel restaurant. Or like, I don't think Tess has actually ever physically seen Chuck and Grace flirt with each other. So I don't think Tess even knows something's happening with her son.
So I think so. Then the thing is, though, she wants someone more compatible. She thinks to her son, and it is Grace being kind of guilt by association because she's with Lillian. You think?
What? Sorry, repeat that. I was totally thinking about my own prediction. Sorry. Go again. Retake.
Okay, I was like, take two. No, I was just saying. So Tess wants Chuck with somebody she feels obviously is more suitable. So there's Lucy, but it's
Mhm.
also me kind of like not with Grace because of guilt by association. She's with Lillian. Is there kind of that going on?
Could be. Yeah, definitely. I think in my predictions, I'll say why
Okay.
Tess wants Chuck to be with Lucy more than.
And that peach pie. Tess is like, we're running out of desserts. Cut it over. And Lucy's like, no. She's like, no. And it's like,
No.
I made it myself, but she couldn't say anything like she wanted to. And it's like, oh, it was for Chuck.
Right. But you know what? She can always make another peach pie.
But it cut into my heart, Marissa. It cut into my heart.
By heart. Like I know, but also Tess doesn't realize that there's a thing going on between.
I know you're right. No, you're right.
And Tess isn't doing it out of like, out of malice or anything. She's just like, we're out of pie. I saw a peach pie. Serve that one too.
Yeah, but I don't trust Tess completely. Sorry, folks. I don't.
I don't think any of us do.
I don't trust her first of all at all. So, but that scene where Grace is like standing there watching the foursome, kind of all like they're all kind of alike, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
reading each other. She was like, she started to cry. I felt so bad for her. And then when she goes home to Lillian,
Yeah, and she's crying. But like, and I think the problem is that like she couldn't tell Lillian either.
nope,
You know?
she didn't.
So like their sister relationship isn't there yet that Grace can tell all of her problems to Lillian as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. And but it's also, I mean, we're learning from her that she was never fully open and forthright anyway when it comes to telling her feelings at the orphanage. You know, you keep your feelings down, you don't say anything. So she's learning to have a sister. She's learning what that's like. And we're seeing that actually. And I think I'm glad they're not super everything right now anyway. We're taking the journey with Grace and Lillian. We're learning about what they're up to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was the episode, folks. That was the episode. I mean, it was a cute episode. They set some things up. They put some things out there. We learned some more stuff. I feel like it's one of those kind of transitional episodes, kind of like they set up expositions. Like, okay, now we got this chick in the picture. Joe had a wife. Like we learn these different things, and so now the whole bank robber thing, the money. So now the next episode probably will start to delve in. Hopefully, it'll delve into that.
Oh yeah, hopefully it'll answers where the $7 million went. Are we in predictions?
Yeah, I'm gonna give me do it for you.
Okay, go.
JLJ Media predictions. Marissa, you know you're good at this.
Very nice. Okay, so 7 millions. I think it's hidden somewhere. or like it's definitely missing. I mean, it's very Shawshank Redemption right now. They were setting up for the future release.
Yes.
We'll figure out where it was, because I think Sinclair and the dude who shot Gabriel, I forgot his name. What's his name?
I forgot his name too. They said his name. I forgot it.
And so like the dude who shot Gabriel and the banker who quit, they're definitely working together. They put the 7 millions off somewhere. We'll figure out where and when. Also, going back to the whole Lucy, Chuck, Tess thing, that's I was thinking, why Tess was pushing so hard for Lucy and Chuck to be together, because if they got together and had marriage, that means they could potentially merge Lucy's father's farm with Tess's farm, and grow and double in size and be even bigger and more powerful. So I think that makes sense why Tess was like pushing on, like, hey, make friends with them. They have more farm. They could double us.
Because earlier in the episode, she said, look where we've grown, and I want to get bigger and bigger. And remember, he says, well, how much is too big? You're right about that. She did mention about growing more and more.
She wants to grow, and this could be the potential opportunity to be like, yo, if you get with Lucy and get, in the tangles with her father, we can get to a point of agreement where we merge our farms together and become bigger. So there's that.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And that's it. Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen, but I think that's the motivation why Tess is pushing Lucy on Chuck.
I have a feeling, my prediction is going to be that also she's pushing together. She's hoping that that'll bring him back home, so to speak, and that he'll run the ranch too. They'll run the ranches together as four person. I think Tessa's whole thing is getting him back. I think later in the season, I don't know, I haven't watched anything yet, folks, that something's going to happen on the ranch where he's going to have to act as a foreman in some way. I have a feeling something's going to come to fruition. It's going to come to a head. That's what I'm going to come to a head with the foreman thing, him and Tess. Something's going to happen. I have a feeling.
Or like something happens to Tess that he's forced to take a foreman position. He's forced to run the ranch. Because if you take out Tess, who's there to run the ranch? No one. Except for Chuck.
Seriously, no one.
Or except for that jerk last episode who tried to take that foreman's job.
Oh, I know.
But we didn't see him in this episode. So
sure did it. He wasn't in this one. He was like, no, we're not in this one.
If you take out Tess, she's the head of the whole operation there. If you take out Tess, it would force Chuck to be in that position to help the family farm to run the whole thing.
I think so too. There you go, kids. As episode 4, we do this show, and on Mondays, we release them on Mondays. Normally, we do 2 episodes per show. This time, because of me, we did 1 each. You get 2, you get a bonus episode, so it's kind of like you get 1 separate. But normally, we do 2 at a time on Mondays here on JLJ Media. Like and subscribe. And everyone who's been subscribing to my page, thank you so much. I see all these hearty names and hopeful names. Thank you so much for subscribing. I'm checking out our content. We really appreciate it. We love doing this. We appreciate it. And thanks for everybody not spoiling anything. So far, no one spoiled anything.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you. Even in the comments, don't spoil.
Yeah, we're enjoying it like a good fan should, watching it as it slowly progresses.
No, I don't want to know anything. I want to see it as it progresses. So thank you so much for being kind and doing that. I appreciate that. Where's Serafini? Tell me they can find you on the interwebs.
Everyone can follow me at Serafini TV.
And you can follow me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. and all social media platforms. And of course, this podcast is on JLJ Media on YouTube. Like, subscribe to the page. And it's on all streaming services for the audio version. So anywhere from iHeartRadio to Spreaker to Apple Podcasts, Google. It's all over by Spotify. It's there. Again, follow and like. What?
The show's on iHeart?
Oh, yeah, it's on iHeartRadio. I got it on iHeartRadio. I just all of a sudden, I just kind of just put it out there, and it's getting approved everywhere.
Cool.
Okay, it's crazy talk. All crazy talk. They like us Hallmark people. It's all Hallmark all the time. And we want to thank you for watching us, and good to see you again, Marisa, as always, in the interwebs. Hope your shoulder feels better.
Yeah, thanks. I gotta, and that's the ironic thing. I was doing resistance bands, and I caused the injury. So that's what I get for working out and trying to stay in shape during this quarantine. All right, I'll just stop and eat more cookies.
Eat more cookies, girl. That's right. Everybody, thank you, hopefuls and hearties. We'll see you next time.